Imagine a land where the sea reaches deep into the heart of the mountains and where the sky is illuminated by the dancing green curtains of the aurora borealis. This is Norway, a country carved by ice and defined by the raw, untamed power of the North Atlantic. It is a nation of explorers. From the Viking longships that crossed the ocean to the modern pioneers of green energy. It is a place where the grandeur of nature is matched only by the resilience and quiet prosperity of the people who call this rugged northern frontier home. The story of Norway begins with the withdrawal of the great glaciers 10,000 years ago, leaving behind a coastline of deep fjords and jagged peaks. The early Norwegians were a maritime people, out of necessity. With only 3% of the land suitable for farming, they turned to the sea. This reached its peak in the Viking Age, when Norwegian Norsemen sailed west to discover Iceland, Greenland, and the shores of North America nearly 500 years before Columbus. They were master shipbuilders and fearless navigators who left an indelible mark on the history of Europe. In the Middle Ages, the Black Death decimated the population, and Norway entered a long period of union, first with Denmark for nearly 400 years and then with Sweden. It wasn't until 1905 that Norway peacefully gained its full independence, beginning a new chapter as a modern constitutional monarchy. For much of the early 20th century, Norway was a relatively poor nation of fishermen, sailors, and farmers, but its people possessed a strong egalitarian spirit and a deep-seated respect for the environment. Then, in 1969, everything changed. The discovery of oil in the North Sea at the Ekofisk field transformed Norway from a modest coastal nation into one of the wealthiest countries on earth. But unlike many nations that have found sudden wealth, Norway chose a different path. They established a sovereign wealth fund, now the largest in the world, to ensure that the riches from their natural resources would benefit not just the current generation, but every Norwegian for centuries to come. This oil fund is valued at over $1 trillion, a testament to the nation's commitment to long-term stability and social welfare. Today, Norway is a global leader in sustainability. Despite its vast oil reserves, the country generates nearly 98% of its domestic electricity from renewable sources, primarily hydropower. It has the highest per capita ownership of electric vehicles in the world, and the capital city of Oslo is a pioneer in green urban planning. For the Norwegians, the goal is to protect the wilderness that defines their identity, a philosophy summed up in the word friluftsliv, or open-air life. It is the cultural belief that being outdoors, regardless of the weather, is essential for the human soul. The landscape of Norway is a masterpiece of natural architecture, from the iconic cliffs of Preikestolen, which drop 600 meters into the Lysfjord, to the remote and beautiful Lofoten Islands. The scenery is breathtaking. In the far north, within the Arctic Circle, the town of Tromsø serves as a gateway to the polar wilderness. Here, the sun does not set for months in the summer, and in the winter, the polar night provides the perfect backdrop for the spectacular northern lights. The cultural heritage of Norway is just as rich as its landscape. It is the home of Edvard Munch, whose painting The Scream captured the modern human condition, and Henrik Ibsen, the father of modern realism in theatre. The haunting, atmospheric music of Edvard Grieg was inspired by the folk melodies of the mountains and the grandeur of the fjords. Today, this creative spirit continues in the world of architecture and design, with Norwegian firms creating some of the most innovative and environmentally conscious buildings. in the world, such as the Oslo Opera House, which appears to rise directly out of the sea. Norway is also a nation that values peace and diplomacy. Every year, the Nobel Peace Prize is awarded in Oslo, a tradition that reflects the country's role as a global mediator. It is a society built on high levels of trust and equality, where the gap between the rich and the poor is among the smallest in the world. It is a place where the right to roam is enshrined in law, allowing anyone to walk, camp, and explore the vast wilderness, provided they treat the land with respect. As the midnight sun glows over the peaks of the Svalbard archipelago and the fishing boats return to the colorful harbors of Bergen, you realize that Norway isn't just a wealthy nation. It is a country that has found a way to balance the modern world with the ancient earth. It is a model of how a society can be both a global economic power and a guardian of the natural world. The next time you see a picture of a winding fjord or hear a story of a polar expedition, don't just think of a cold land in the north. Think of the 1,000 years of history. Think of the fishermen who braved the winter storms, the engineers who built the deepest tunnels, and the people who decided that the future of their country belonged to everyone. As the snow blankets the quiet valleys and the lights of the villages reflect in the dark waters, do you see a remote kingdom at the top of the world? Or do you see a beacon of stability and sustainability for the 21st century? Thanks for watching.